this is just, I'm going to read a short thing so I can tell that short little story, and I hope I haven't sounded too fragmented, but everyone who spoke before me gave so many ideas. I wanted to respond to it and sort of speak to that topic, to those topics. So this is the she said that follows my husband's, and as I will explain in a moment after I read, it was really difficult because I had to follow him. So there were many details he got already. So really frustrating. And if you get the book, you'll I hope share in my frustration. that there's this paradigm of he said, she said. Not fair, people. Clearly a way to keep us down. Jeff insists I made a comment about the fascination of all things anal on the day our son was born, but I have no memory of this. This is not funny, Vicki. Or it is funny, but it's dark humor. Okay. No, anus? What happens if he's gay?
Oh!
We'll make him one, our doctor informed us. Great, I answered. My son was born in Los Angeles, and they're already making him an asshole. I missed out on Jeff's hospital weepapalooza because I was otherwise occupied in morphing into a character from a Russian novel. Anna Karenina couldn't hold a candle to my moroseness. From my hospital bed, I phoned our family and friends, and instantly the cheerful baskets we'd received with cards saying, "We can't wait to meet him," were replaced by somber flower arrangements bearing the notes announcing, "Our prayers are with you." I didn't have a train to throw myself under, but I was able to heave myself into a wheelchair and take up residence in front of Ezra's little isolette. With all of his appliances and the black silk sleek mask they placed over his eyes, he looked like a sickly baby rock star. The next day, Jeff and I'm going to skip that for a moment. People joke that children don't come with owner's manuals, but ours did. We were just too idiotic to understand it. When we got home from the hospital, we were afraid to be left alone with him. And that's when we entered the Kafkaesque labyrinth of home healthcare workers. It wasn't just that the nurses were often incompetent. Sometimes they didn't even show up. Sometimes they felt the need to wake me at 3 a.m. to inform me they were only staying the rest of the night if I paid them extra money under the table. One lasted less than 15 minutes. Though her name has been forgotten, I will never forget her long fingernails. Really, they were something akin to paring knives. Imperiously, she strode into our home, took one look at Ezra, and announced, "This isn't for me." She wrapped her talons around her handbag and disappeared forever. She billed us later. It seemed as though there was some tacit requirement to be a little eccentric to even want to take on the challenges of a baby like Ezra. I have fond memories of my favorite, Penelope, a salt-of-the-earth British lass who was daylighting as a nanny, while in the evening she pursued her true life ambition, which was to become a bartender and make a living on a traveling darts team. Sure, we might come home and she'd be sleeping off a hangover while Ezra was in her care, but she could whip up a colostomy bag faster than you could say, "Henry Higgins," or "Another pint, please, mate." Penny was my favorite because not one of our family members was able to deal with Ezra when his clothes were off and his appliances were out in the open, but Penny was unfazed. Or she was too drunk to care. We were just completely ill-prepared for parenting as a science experiment. For more than 2 years, we needed to record every ounce of liquid that went into Ezra's body. I am not good at math. I cheated my way from the multiplication tables through algebra. I didn't fill in much of the math portion of the SATs. Jeff, on the other hand, tried to do his math SATs and somehow managed to score even worse than I did. Between the two of us, we managed a subpar level of competence that was good enough to feed our baby, but poor enough to rightly suspect that each of us was doing it wrong and off by precious ounces. We fought most viciously during the middle of the night. If our home had been wiretapped, You might have thought we were running a meth lab. Male voice, how many ounces of liquid did you pour in this morning? I can't read your handwriting. Female, I can't remember. Male, what were you thinking? Female, at least I write down what we're doing. Male, but you have no idea what you're doing. Female, right, but I'm writing it down anyway. You don't keep track of anything. We can't do this together. Get the fuck out of my way. I need to mix up a batch. Jeff says he still loved me. He just hated everything I did and every decision I made. And he made it clear that he didn't agree with me on a single course of action that had to do with Ezra's care. During the time that Jeff was fantasizing about a life of seducing women with his tale of our child's rectal woes, I fantasized about becoming the Martha Stewart of the parents of the chronically ill children set. I was sure I could beat this thing and become the best mother of them all if I could just wrestle control of the situation and didn't have to deal with Jeff's bothersome opinions. As I fell asleep at night, I pictured myself on the Today Show, exhibiting the new and improved colostomy bags that I had whipped up in my spare time. Why not a bag for every season? Blue and pink shaded Easter bags, a fall bag in the shape of a pumpkin. Immaculately dressed and coiffed, I'd hold my kid in one hand, feed him through a tube with the other, sort medical bills with my teeth, all the while describing how I had adapted to my unexpected role as a parent of a chronically ill child. I've had to make concessions, I'd confess. Sure, it wasn't my dream that my kid would make the cover of Anorectal Malformation magazine, but hey, a cover's a cover. In my real life, every day saw new examples of my failure to be anything like Martha. Once, when I was outside a department store, a poop rolled from my son's pants, and I kicked it under a decorative shrub. A woman who witnessed this act hissed, "I saw what you did." Yeah? Well, that's a woman who's never changed a colostomy bag in an airplane bathroom. But I knew that Martha would never have done that. Okay, now that is a little bit from the book. And